What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another deadline stream. It has been a while. We have had a couple of weeks off with the prolonged Game Week 21 and the FA Cup weekend, but we are back with Game Week 22, Double Game Week 22, which started off being very enticing and has become less and less enticing. I seem to have both chats up. Let me hide that one there for you. So fixtures in the bottom left and chat up there like it is. Nice to see so many of you in the chat already. Say hello if you are there, and we will get into all of the usual hellos discussions throughout this stream. We'll talk about potential transfers, whether we should be targeting players with doubles, potentially players that we should be looking to bring in for the games after the double game week. All of this we will talk about in the next 2 hours. We are going to be live up until the deadline. So before we get started, we are chasing 15k subscribers during the stream. That is the aim. We are about 80 away, I think, maybe slightly more. But if you could like, and anyone new, if you are new, could subscribe to the channel. We are trying to hit it during this deadline stream. It would be great if we could do it live on stream. So yeah, if you could drop a subscribe if you are new, like, and let's get straight into it. So say hello in the chat if you are in, and we will go through and do the usual shout outs to each and every one of you guys who says hello. Let me just... Cool. So, Eddie, we've got Brad, we've got Carol. Hello, how are we doing? John, hi from Florida. How are we doing? Preb, Jack, welcome, guys. Nice to see you all in. Asim, Isaac. Sorry, who have we got? Abilash. We've got Liam. We've got David. We've got another David. Magic Master, how are we doing, bud? Nice to see you in. I think we've got a little surprise for Magic Master in the chat. Where is he? One of the biggest supporters of the channel. So you might want to just refresh your chat, refresh the stream, Magic Master, and try typing something else in the chat. Let's see if that has worked. Cool. Luke, Bauer, other Luke, Shiraz, Ruben, DR1, FPL Jack, Rishad, Rohan. Nice to see so many of you guys all in the chat already. But yeah, Magic Master, a little something there. What's going to be in today's stream? Just usual deadline stream. We'll be answering all of your questions. We will be talking about my team. I've still got transfers to make. I haven't made any transfers yet. Thank you guys, Brian, for subscribing. I appreciate you coming in. So, best transfer, can't afford Fernandez. We'll get into all of your questions in a minute. Tom, Aklan, Joe Dome, how are we doing? It's Foster to Sanchez, fine. Keeping Ramsdale on the bench. You could risk playing Foster. If it's for a hit, I probably wouldn't do it. For free, then go for it. If it's for free, then go for it. What's new, Magic Master? I wonder. Is slow mode on or is... No, should not be. Can easily be removed, but let's appreciate all your support on the channel. So we have a new moderator in the stream, Magic Master. Nice to see you in. No worries. Right, so let's get into it. My team up on screen here for you all. I have got one free transfer, but again, as I seem to do every single week, oh, not this again. I seem to be targeting a -4. So we'll get into that. I do think I want to be selling Son. It doesn't have a double game week anymore. And I do think I want to be bringing in Bruno Fernandes. I'm slightly short of the money, I think, to do that directly in one move. So let's go and get my transfer page up on a separate screen. So if I was to do Son out and wanted to bring in Bruno, for example, and I think there's a lot of you wondering whether you should be bringing him in. I'm slightly short of the money. However, Antonio to Dennis is likely to be what I'm going to do to free up that money. They have a nice double this week. There is a chance that that second fixture makes way. It is a -4. Now, I know Antonio could punish me against Leeds, and I know there is a chance that there is no double game week for... there's no double game week for Watford because of the Burnley COVID situation, but I need the money. Fernandes will be a placeholder for Salah. They have a good fixture anyway against Newcastle, and then they have Norwich in the upcoming game week. So I actually will have triple Manchester United just for a short term with the double this week and then the fixture next week. That is the plan. So Leeds defence is shocking. I understand the selling Antonio is definitely something that could punish me. But if Watford get a double game week, it's going to be pretty close, I think, between Antonio and then double game week for Dennis. And then the next week after, he has Norwich, whereas Antonio plays against Manchester United. And then also it is the big factor that it allows me then after 2 weeks to do Fernandes up to Salah. Whereas if I kept Antonio in my team and didn't do the Dennis downgrade, I couldn't go and get Salah back into my team when I wanted to. So the plan at the moment is to do that big upgrade to get Fernandes in and bringing in Dennis. That is the current transfer plan, but we will be keeping an eye on any potential transfer news. I will bring anything that I think is reliable up on stream. I will keep an eye on my phone and on my Twitter as well for any sort of potential news and leaks. As I mentioned, we are chasing 15,000 subscribers and we are 75 away now. So if you guys could like the stream and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Hello, you need to replace Son and Dyer with 0.1 million in the bank. You genuinely have no clue who to bring in. Do you have any advice? If you have to play them both this week, I do quite like the look of the Brighton defence. Now, the issue with them is Lamptey. Is he going to play both games? It would be a bit of a concern for me. You could go for one of the Wolves defenders. They have nice fixtures coming up. It's a single game week, but it is at home to Southampton this week. I don't think it's a bad pick completely. So I would probably go there. And if you are looking to sell Son, Lucas Moura, probably up there with one of my... I'll bring up a tweet. Hang on. Let me just hide that a second. What I should do, and what I'm going to do in future, is when I do this and hide the screen, I'm going to get a picture of my team, which just stays on screen for you. Would be a much better viewing experience. But I just want to pull this tweet up on screen to answer that question. It's my top 5 midfield salary, my midfielders to buy this week, depending on if you have or if you don't have a chance to get Salah back in. So if it's a placeholder for Salah, I like Bruno, I like Lucas Moura, I like Mount, I like De Bruyne, and I like Trossard. But if it's not going to be a Salah option and you're going to keep them long term in your team, then Bowen, then Jota, KDB, Foden, Rafinha are the 5 that I would be going with then, if that's the way you are going. So it depends if this person is just going to be a 2-week punt before you go back to Salah. If that's going to be the case, go for one of the guys in the top 5. But if they're just going to stay in your team long term, then I would be picking out of one of the names in the bottom 5. Question in the chat from Mark Joshi about the match that's meant to be taking place between Arsenal and Tottenham. At the moment, that game is going ahead. There are slight concerns about whether it's going to go ahead. So if you are looking to bring in Lucas Moura, I would just wait a minute on that. I would wait as close to the deadline. It may be enough to put me off Lucas Moura, but you could go to the likes of Mason Mount. There are enough others in that list. I do quite like Lucas Moura. Their fixtures after are okay. They play Chelsea in 23 and then Southampton and Wolves at home. If that's enough to put you off, fine. Then I probably would. I'd go elsewhere. But for the time being, if that game is going to go ahead, I don't mind them as a pick. But you could go Mount if it's short term. If not, then have a look at some of the ones in the bottom option. Perfect. So, ideal midfield for a free hit team. So I would probably still have Jota. I would probably still have Bowen. I would then have Bruno Fernandes like we've got on this list. I would probably also then have Mason Mount in there. And if you're playing a 5, maybe Trossard or De Bruyne. But Trossard would probably be the one if I was on a free hit this week. Hi Kai, how are we doing? My thoughts on Bruno. So we'll talk about that now. I am planning on bringing Bruno Fernandes in. Unless we get news on something really strange happening. Bruno Fernandes in for Son and then Antonio to Dennis are my current planned transfers. That is what I'm thinking that I will do ahead of the upcoming game week. So Son to Bruno Fernandes and Antonio to Dennis for a -4 is what I'm planning on doing. There are risks in that, but I think it's where my head is at the moment. Best Son and Broha replacement. I wouldn't worry too much. I think Broha could be okay. There's a chance that he is fit and available for the upcoming game week. Son replacements again. Maybe I should find a place to put these up on screen, but we'll keep pulling back to it. Basically, this is it. If you're looking for a midfielder. For those asking in the chat, I am not playing my free hit this week. I don't think there's enough in that double game week now for me to want to go and play a free hit. If we look at the fixtures that are doubles, Watford, there's a chance that their second game gets cancelled. Manchester United, yeah, but a lot of us have already got their assets. Tottenham, yeah, but their first game could get cancelled. Chelsea, Brighton, but Brighton have a Chelsea fixture. Chelsea have a Man City fixture. There's just no good team with 2 double game weeks that I would really wanting to be going and investing in. So I'm not playing my free hit this week. I'm saving it for later in the season. If you've brought in Maddison, I would keep him. It's still an okay fixture this week, and then they play Brighton at home next week. It's not ideal. If you went early on Maddison, then you've been unlucky. That game has been cancelled. But I would keep him if I've got him already in my team. It changed the background. This is why it all went completely skew-whiff when I tried to reload up the stream and I changed the settings back. It's going to shrink. It's going to go all massive for a second. It's going to go... There we go. Need my rank to be accurate, don't we? So, would I start Maddison or Foden? I'd probably still take Maddison. Is Sterling going to play? I probably think that he will. The Manchester City team... Again, I have a predicted lineup thread that I put out on Twitter, which I can go and pull up for you all now as well. We can have a look through. Let me pull up the Wolves one, and then we can scroll up and have a look at the Manchester City one for you about what we're predicting. This is what we've got in here at the moment. Jesus, Sterling, so not good news for Foden potentially. It's a prediction, of course, but that's what we've got at the moment. So, got Sterling, probably start him, but you do run the risk with him there. But if you've got him, a lot of players looking maybe, in theory, if that Arsenal-Tottenham game goes, a lot of people are very thin with the amount of players that they are putting out in the squad. Foster for De Gea looks great. In terms of bringing him in, yeah, if you can bring in De Gea, I like that. He's probably the goalkeeper that I would want to own on a free hit. So I don't dislike that at all. I'm not going to start him in my team. Foster. If you've got him and you've got maybe Ramsdale in goal, you could take a chance that Foster starts both, then fine, but there is a chance that the North London derby does get postponed. Yes, we don't have any news on it at the moment. There's also a chance that we get double game week announcements in the next 2 hours for game week 23, but there's also a chance that they do it 1 minute after the deadline like they did last season, and I'm fully expecting that to happen for some reason. It's just one of those things that could easily happen to us. So, is Spurs Arsenal off for sure? No, it's not off confirmed. We don't know if it's been confirmed off. Lanzini is definitely a good differential. If it wasn't a double game week, I think a lot more players may be considering bringing him in, given how well he did in the first part of game week 21. Does feel like we've missed the points a little bit on him, but yeah, I'm still definitely... He's on my radar. I don't dislike him a lot at all. But I've got Bowen, fine. Yes, maybe I need a second one. They have nice fixtures here. Maybe you could double up, but at the moment I'm happy. Interesting, you guys in the chat say you're getting Semedo, says Magic Master. I don't dislike that at all. I've been talking to quite a few people who have needed a defender, and I've recommended him to them. I still think he's a good option for sure. Spurs Arsenal is not confirmed off. We do not know that. He's saying it's been confirmed, but let me go and... No. Nothing confirmed. Please, let's not. Fake news will just put people in timeout if they are spreading fake news on games being called off. Any of the mods, if you see people with fake game postponements in the chat, feel free to put them in time out. So KDB for long game week. He's not a bad pick long term. He's definitely one of the midfielders that I would consider for a long term pick. He's quite a lot, but they have really nice fixtures after that Chelsea game. If you're looking for a midfielder and you've got that budget long term, fine. But I'd be surprised if it fits a lot of people's team structures. People looking to get Salah back in. Are they really going to want to have, in De Bruyne in their midfield? Leicester Burnley is off. Yes, it is that first game in the double game week for Burnley and for Leicester. So neither of them have a double game week. Is Ronaldo essential? I expect him to be the most highly owned and captained player this week. You are brave to go against him, but I don't think he's necessarily essential. So I wouldn't worry. If it's a -8 to get him in, then I wouldn't do it. If you have a route to get him in, then I would probably. Given that we've heard that he should be fit to play both games, he is my captain this week. My vice captain will be on Dennis when he comes in. Some guy was spamming Spurs, timed him. Perfect. Thank you. Just before we crack on, there are almost 500 of you guys in here. And if you could like the stream, there are only 61 likes, but 500 of you watching. If you could like the stream, and anyone new, if you could subscribe. We are chasing 15,000 subscribers during this stream. We are 70 away, so it's very doable. If you could like the stream to get it shared around a bit more, and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, that would be much appreciated. If we can try and hit maybe 100, 150 likes, that would be absolutely great. Is getting Ronaldo over an easy route back to Salah an option? So Ronaldo in theory is an easy route back to Salah if you do decide to sell Ronaldo. But what I would be a bit cautious of is their fixtures. Sorry, that's Jota. If we go on Ronaldo, their fixtures after this week, right? If you're going to sell Ronaldo for this run of fixtures, you are a braver person than I am. Now, he makes a very easy route back to Salah because of the amount of money he is. And it's very easy to go, right, Ronaldo downgrade, midfielder upgrade to Salah. That's very simple, very straightforward. However, I think having for this run Salah and Ronaldo is where I want to be. So I am planning, and the way I'm using my transfers, which is why I'm doing Antonio to Dennis, which I don't love, but I think it's a fine move because it allows me to do the money that I need to upgrade the Son to Fernandes. Then I've got enough in the bank to go up to Salah. What about... Thank you all very much for subscribing. Appreciate it. Thank you, Josh, Praxton, Christian, Roger. Thank you guys very much for subscribing. Hey, how are we doing, Peter? Would I take a -8 Salah and Son and Lacazette out for Ronaldo and two others? -8 takes Salah, Son and Lacazette out for Ronaldo and two others. I wouldn't be taking Salah out. So this is something else I tweeted the other day. If you can go... What I would do there, bench Salah, Son and Lacazette to Ronaldo and a cheap midfielder. I don't think that selling Salah now at this stage is a worthwhile transfer. He's got two game weeks he's going to miss. You selling someone and then buying him back is two transfers. It's just not going to be worth it. None of those midfielders I think are good enough. People disagree with me on Twitter, but I'm pretty strong on the opinion that if you've kept Salah this long, you bench him for the next 2 weeks and he comes back in game week 24 for you. I wouldn't be going and making that swap straight away. Luke C, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Who's the better captaincy option, Ronaldo or Bowen? Given that it sounds like Ronaldo is going to be fit and available to play away at Villa in the first part, I have to back a double game week player. Bowen has looked so good and he did score, twice midweek, but for me, and he did score against Leeds in the FA Cup, but you have to back. If you've got Ronaldo in a double game week when he should be fit to play both, you can't be betting against him. It's just got to be where the captaincy armband is going. Just while we've got you all, if any of you are, thinking of super chats, we also do have memberships which you can sign up, which is just £2 a month or £5 a month. The advanced tier gets you added into a group chat on Twitter, which includes myself, all the moderators, as well as all the other tier 2 members. And it's great fun, and we've been talking and planning about our team so much since I've set it up. But the basic tier as well gives you you get highlighted in the chat to me. So it's basically unlimited super chats, and I always will do my best to answer your question like I do with super chats. So it's basically unlimited super chats for a month for just £2 if you do want to join as a member, and £5 you basically can get all your questions answered whenever you want them in my DMs over on Twitter. So you can get that for the memberships for you. Bamford for Leeds, in my opinion. Bamford is likely to be in the squad. I don't necessarily think he's going to start this week. Can I please show a free hit team? I just would really be careful of playing your free hit this week. I really don't think it's the optimum time to be playing your free hit. You can go for it. I would have probably Trent. I'd have De Gea in goal. I would have Alonso, the final defender. Maybe Cucurella in my defence, the midfield. I would have Bowen. I would have Jota. I would have two doublers in probably Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. And then up front, I would probably go Ronaldo. I'd probably go Kane. And I would probably go Dennis. It would be how my team would look. Would probably be how I would look. Bring Ronaldo in for Dennis, King, or Antonio. If you've got double Watford attack, I would sell Antonio. If you can sell Antonio to Ronaldo and then use him as your captain, then I would absolutely go and do that. Best defender to transfer in this week other than Trent. I like Cucurella. They have a good fixture against Palace and then a difficult fixture against Chelsea, but it's still, a nice run of fixtures for them. After they have Leicester, then they blank, and then it gets easier after that. There aren't many from a defensive point of view that I really like. You could go for a Wolves defender, single game week against Southampton, but it's a really nice run of fixtures afterwards for them. So it's difficult from a defensive point of view because Spurs, you run the risk of them having their game against Arsenal called off, and then it's a difficult double game week nonetheless. So yeah, it's a difficult one in defence. I'd probably go like Cucurella if I had to bring one in this week. So on to who? Have Bowen, Jota and Gray already. I'd probably be looking at a double game week player. I don't know how much you have. Is it going to be a player that's a placeholder for Salah? Let me get the tweet up on Son replacements for you. Thank you all as well who follow me over on Twitter. We've hit 38,000 followers there. Appreciate it very much. These are my list of top Son replacements if you want to go and pick them up, depending on if it's a Salah placeholder or depending on if they are going to be in your team long term. Captaincy ranking for me, Ronaldo comes out on top. Dennis comes out second. And if you don't own either of them, good luck. I think I wouldn't want to be. King would probably be going next, and then Bruno, right? If it's not Ronaldo, Bruno, King, or Dennis, then I think it's very tough. I don't mind a double up on Watford attack. Now, the Watford postponement probably puts me off enough. If I was planning on doing it, I would probably err on the side of caution a little bit and would probably say, actually, it's probably not the best idea if that's what I go and do now, but I don't hate it at all. So if you've got them in your team already, fine, but I probably wouldn't be doubling up on them now, given the way that Burnley are having a bit of a COVID outbreak, and that game falls just on Tuesday for Watford versus Burnley. If you have, keep Calvert-Lewin or move from a -4 to Dennis, what would I be doing? I would probably keep Calvert-Lewin. Again, enough doubt in my mind about that second Watford fixture going ahead. Burnley's first game against Leicester has been postponed. Of course, Burnley have had a COVID outbreak, so the game does fall just 3 days after that first Burnley game was meant to take place. So it's a very short turnaround. So there is a chance that that second game does get cancelled as well over the weekend, going into that game on Tuesday. Thoughts on Son to Foden? Not a bad long-term option. So again, if you guys are looking for replacements for Son, these would be who I'd be going with in my team at the moment. Amar, thank you very much for subscribing. Getting closer to that 15k subscriber tally that we are chasing during this stream. Play Tony or Bernardo. I know Tony's got a difficult double, but I would have to be backing the double game week player. It's not like Bernardo's been on electric goal scoring form recently. And it's not like they have a really good fixture this week as well. We are less than 50 subscribers away from 15,000. Mental. Thank you all for your support. Now Spurs might have a double game week. Kane and White to Ronaldo and a Brighton defender. If that's for a -4, I would be tempted to do that, especially if you were going to start White. Kane out is not something I love, but if their double game week gets cancelled, then it's not something I mind at all. Son to Maddison, so I wouldn't be going Maddison. The double game week for Leicester has been cancelled, so they only have one game this week. Evening, Harry. Thoughts on taking a hit for Smith Rowe to Bowen or James to Davis / Lamptey? James to Davis should be playing both. We don't quite know. If you can go Cucurella, then I'd probably go there, but wait and see on that one. But the other move, I'd probably favour getting James out just because he's injured for such a long period. Johan, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Your €2 donation. Antonio, Son to Bowen, CR7, or Silva, Son to Bowen, KDB. Antonio, Son, or Silva, Son. I'd go Bowen, CR7 probably would be the way. And it allows you to keep Silva, right? They have a nice run of fixtures coming up after they play Chelsea this week. So I probably would go and get Cristiano into your team now. I probably would. So, who's Brighton's penalty taker? I think it's Mopé. That's what we sort of are led to believe at the moment. That's what we're led to believe at the moment. So, we'll get on to my plans in just a minute. So, is it worth a -4 Fernandes and Jota for Son and Gundogan? So, Fernandes and Jota in for Son and Gundogan. Yeah, I probably would do that. I do like those moves. Cool. Right. When am I looking to wildcard? I'm saving it. So, for anyone who isn't aware or doesn't follow me on Twitter, my chip strategy is going to be as follows. So, I plan on free hitting in game week 27, which is likely to be a reasonable blank game week, including blanks for highly owned teams like Liverpool. Then I'm likely to free hit again in game week 30, which is again likely to be a big blank game week. And then triple captain whenever I feel like it, basically on a double that I like. Potentially Liverpool could have a double game week in game week 26, which would be Leeds at home, Norwich at home, which would be fantastic. Triple captain Salah finally there. Then wildcard between sort of game week 31 and 33, and then play my bench boost in normally the big double game week in game week 36 towards the end of the season is my plan at the moment. Roberto Sanchez rather than David De Gea. If you've got both, I would still probably start De Gea. It's a slightly better double game week than we have for Brighton. Livramento, Salah and Son to Lamptey, Bruno and Sterling. Livramento, Salah and Son to Livramento, Bruno and Sterling. So, Livramento's Lamptey, fine. If you can go Cucurella, I prefer it. I would probably not go Sterling if it was me. I'd go elsewhere from Sterling and get a better option than Lamptey on someone who I think is likely to play every game. So that's probably where I would go. -4 to get Bruno and Gray or Ronaldo and Gray. I'd probably go Ronaldo before Bruno. Bruno's a good option if Ronaldo's not going to play, right? But if Ronaldo's going to play, then he's by far the better option over Bruno's. Bruno's much better when there is no Ronaldo on the pitch. 700 of you guys watching. We are 100 viewers away from having my most viewed stream ever, which would be amazing if we could hit that going into this game week. So if you are watching, please don't leave. Hopefully we can tick over there in the next hour or so. If you are enjoying, please do like the stream and subscribe as well. I really appreciate all you guys coming and tuning in ahead of this. I was going to say big double game week, but it's not even that. 200 likes on the stream as well. So thank you. We'll go through my transfer plans now. But if you guys could like and subscribe if you are new, I really appreciate it. I can see subscribers flying in. Baron, Brian, Billy, Sam, Amar, all you new subscribers, I really appreciate it. But let's go through my transfer plans now. So let's start again effectively. Let's refresh that and I'll talk you guys through my plans at the moment. So, do I want to print? No, I don't want to print this. Cool. So my transfer plans at the moment are Son out. I might have to put slow mode slightly more on, and Antonio out. Now, I don't love selling Antonio from -4, but it frees up money to go and get Fernandes in my midfield, who I do think is the best, replacement for Son if you can afford him. That is my current thinking, that I would do Son up to Bruno Fernandes, and then I will go and do Antonio down to Dennis in order to free up the money. 19 subscribers away. Amazing. Mopai, it's not a bad option. I'd probably favour Trossard in midfield, but I think there are enough forwards that I would pick over Mopai. If you're bringing in Mopai, I would question why you're going for him over either of the Watford forwards. If you've already got one, I'd still rather a double up on the Watford forwards compared to going for Mopai. So I would probably not go for him. He's not a bad option. If you've got him, start him. Great, fine. But 2 people just subbed. Sorry. I'm trying my best to keep a track. I do have one. Kedar and Najmui, thank you very much for subscribing. Ben Foster start. I currently think he'll start one of the 2 games. I don't necessarily think he will play both, but we'll have to wait and see that. Watford, we don't know whether the Watford's still double at the moment. I am trying to keep an eye on my social media to see if there's any potential news on any of the games, whether it's the double for the double for Spurs, whether it's the double for Watford, whatever it is. If I see anything reliable, I will of course bring you all the up-to-date news. Shahin, it is a great stream. We just hit 800 viewers again. We are so close. I think my highest is about 880, but we'll have to keep going. I think I need to look it up. So what do I think of Varane? Not a bad option. He's probably the most nailed Manchester United defender. It's very difficult to find a Manchester United defensive option to go with that isn't with in goal for De Gea. The fullbacks I don't want to back. Centre back is probably Varane and Maguire. I don't love it enough. They don't keep enough clean sheets that Varane's lack of attacking threat is really worth it. I'd probably pick Cucurella up for... I'd probably go and pick Cucurella up from Brighton before I wanted to go and buy a Manchester United defensive option, just because the ones that are nailed then don't have attacking threat, and the ones that have attacking threat are not nailed. So yeah, that's my thinking at the moment. Jota or Maddison, if I had to bring one in now. If I had to bring, Jota or Maddison, Jota, given that Maddison doesn't have a double game week now, that would be... I'd go and join... I'd go and... Just trying to look it up. I will get back to the questions. I would be bringing in Jota now before I bring Maddison. A much better, longer-term pick. So, Kufau replacement. I don't necessarily think you need to sell him. If you want to transfer him out, then I think Cucurella again of Brighton is probably where I would go, but not 100% think that it's if you need to play him this week, then fine. That's where I would go probably. Semedo of Wolves, they have a nice run of fixtures as well. I'd go for one of the two. If you want a big one this week, then I'd go and bring in Cucurella. But long term, I would probably go Semedo of Wolves. Saka flagged, yes. So he is flagged at the moment. Actually, let me move that back down again. Saka is flagged because he limped off in the EFL Cup game last night. Yeah, last night, which is a bit of a concern. That is why he's flagged. So again, chip strategy for anyone who is unsure, planning on playing a free hit in game weeks 27 and 30. Triple captaining at some point with a double game week, because there are likely to be a lot of doubles. We know Liverpool have got to have a double game week. Salah's going to have a double game week, right? Fine, simple. I'll play my triple captain then, and that's no worries at all. And then wildcard game week 31 to 35, and then bench boost and sort of big double game week towards the end of the season. Villa DS, thank you for subscribing. Again, let's just have a quick look. We have done it. Thank you all very much, Omar, for subscribing. It seems like you guys at the end, Villast and Omar, have tipped us over 15,000 subscribers. Appreciate you all watching so much. Thank you all for tuning in. Best cheap double game week midfielder. I'm absolutely buzzing with that. Thank you all guys for the support. We just ticked over 15k. Best cheap double game week. McAllister, if you want to go very cheap, but I don't love it. Mount is not a bad pick either. If you need a very, very budget, like a Sissoko type, you could go there, but the cheap ones are not loving. Let me get top 5 midfielders. This is probably where I go. Trossard you could go to. Who to bench? Gray, Watkins, or Antonio? I'd probably bench Watkins if I had him, Alan, out of those ones. Gray has a nice fixture against Norwich, and so has a lot of potential for a lot of points in that game. And then Antonio again has a nice fixture against Leeds. Watkins, yes, they look good, but it is against United. That would probably be where I was benching a player. But thank you very much for your super chat. I appreciate it. And thank you all once again for all the new subscribers. Pep said there are some cases. Should I risk buying De Bruyne? Maybe not. Maybe you don't want to play that risk again. It's a bit of a risk. I don't know if we've seen training pictures. I think De Bruyne should be okay, but yeah, maybe you want to stay away from Man City given what Pep said in his press conference. Would I bench Soufal or Damari Gray? I would bench, out of the two of Soufal or Gray, I would be benching Soufal. That attacking fixture for Gray is probably where I'd go. They've had a lot of rest as well. So I'd go Gray. Leeds could have some of their main attackers back, so yeah, I would be going for Gray over. I'd start Gray first. Defenders to target for the future. Laporte is definitely one that you could look at if you want to go double Manchester City defence. They have a really nice double game week. Aston Villa have they have really nice fixtures. Aston Villa have very nice fixtures starting from next week. Again, definitely one that I would consider bringing in. Wolves, again, cheap options from Wolves, Villa or City would probably be, if you want a premium one, would be the transfers in defence that I'd be looking to make. Odegaard, yes, I am still got transfers to make. So he is going to, of course, start, but I've got transfers to make as well. We will be making those live on stream as well. Let me save my team like that. Cool. McAllister or Gallagher? Probably McAllister again, just because he's got a double. I don't love him as a pick. If you're bringing one in, no, I'd probably still bring in McAllister just because of we still got another hour, right? Yes, we still got another hour until the deadline. Two more subs. You'd rather get Trossard. Yeah, sorry. 1 sec. Just looking for a little bit of news on something, but it doesn't seem that reliable. Cool, back to it. No, I'm not going to share it. You rather get Trossard, CR7 or Kane. I'd rather have Ronaldo now, given the news we've heard and the potential postponement of the first fixture for Tottenham. What good midfielders to replace Son and Trossard? Son and Salah. I would keep Salah if you've got Son. If you are selling, this is the list of players. Would I take an additional hit to bring in Mason Mount this week? Depends who would be starting in his place. I would probably need to have that question answered first. Take out Salah and Watkins for Ronaldo and Jota. It's very good short term. Like this week, great. But you're going to need a route back to Salah next week. And this is something I keep banging on about to a lot of people on Twitter. That they're going, oh, Salah out, fine. He doesn't play this week. In 2 weeks' time, you will need a route back to Salah. My route back to Salah is very simple. Son will go to Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes will then make way, and Salah will come into my team. It's that simple, and it's why I'm doing Antonio down to Dennis this week. So my plan is to do these two transfers of Son to Fernandes and then Antonio to Dennis. I'm just waiting on any further news we get before the deadline, but I'm pretty certain and pretty set that those are going to be where I make my transfers. Reguilon is injured. Yeah, I've got defenders on my bench that can play if the worst case happens, then Reguilon doesn't play a single minute in the double game week. There's a slim chance. It seems like he's going to be okay, but fingers crossed that is going to be the case, because at the moment I don't love the options that I've got on my bench. Should you play Lucas Moura in midfield and Lukaku up front? If you are on a free hit, they're not bad options at all. Would I be bringing them in? No, because Lukaku has blank game weeks coming up. So if we go and look at the upcoming fixture ticker. So if we look at Chelsea, for example, they play this, then they play Tottenham, then they have 2 blanks, then they play Palace, and then they have another blank. So if you are thinking of bringing in Mason Mount or Alonso, it's a very short-term move, right? There is a lot of bumps down the road for a lot of us with our teams that I don't think you're going to be wanting to have Chelsea players. Yes, they double this week. It is a difficult double. They are playing Man City. I would advise against bringing any Chelsea players into your team. How come? I'm not going to be playing my free hit. So I just don't think the free hits are nice enough. The fixtures to bring in are nice enough. There aren't enough players that I don't have that I want, basically. Dev, thank you for subscribing. Apologies if I've missed any other new subscribers. Somto, Alex, Josh, Joseph, appreciate it all. Kane on a free hit. Yeah, if we're on a free hit, I would probably own Kane. Of course, wait and see if we get anything before deadline. More news on that. If there's any more news on that postponement for Spurs. How good is Mopai for this week? On a free hit again, he's not that great, I think, is it? If I was making a transfer, I wouldn't buy Mopai. And if I was on a free hit, again, I wouldn't own Mopai. So that would be my worry. Basically, he's not a bad pick. If you own him, fine, start him. But he's probably not up there enough. Kane, captain. There's enough doubt in my mind about that North London derby going ahead or not that I probably wouldn't be going there. So I would probably just err on the side of caution with the captaincy. Depends if you've got no one else to put it on, then go for it. But cool. So best captain this week is got to be Cristiano Ronaldo for me. Ronaldo, Bruno, if you have to, then King and Dennis as well. Those 4 are probably my top captaincy options this week. I don't think Trent's a bad option, but of course it's a single game week player. How much double game week players? I'd probably want a minimum of 4. I'm going in with 5, and I'm pretty happy with that. One of them will be my captain in Ronaldo. So I think 5 is great. 4 is probably what I'd aim for. If you've got 6, then I think you're in a really strong position. Get Fernandes for Son as a free transfer, or start Gray instead. I wouldn't be benching Gray. Is there no one else in your team? Then I wouldn't do it. I mean, the issue is if it's for free, I'd probably look to go elsewhere because Son's not going to be back for quite a few weeks. Thank you, Scott, for subscribing. I probably wouldn't go back to... Son's going to be out for a few weeks. So you are going to want to sell him, but maybe you wait and let's see if there's double game weeks next week. Because if Leeds get a double game week, then Son to Rafinha makes a lot of sense. Then you could just do that. So I'd probably play Gray over Bruno this week and wait and see what happens with that. But that's probably be the way that I would go if it was my team. So Foster or Pickford, what would I be doing if I had both in my team? I would probably take the chance on Foster. Pickford, if he was at home, maybe it would sway it, but I would probably start Foster in my team at the moment. Cool. Still no news on any of those games or team news for tonight's game or anything like that. Harry Kane for my free hit team. Yeah, not a bad option. My front three would probably be Ronaldo, Kane, Dennis if I was on a free hit. Who's on penalties for Brighton? I'm pretty sure it's going to be Mopai. He's taken the most recent ones. I'm pretty sure that it will be him. Ronaldo injury update, please. He should be fine. Press conference today said that he should be... Rangnick said that he should be okay to play. Cool. Alex, thank you very much for your super chat. Salah to Bruno free transfer or Antonio to Ronaldo for a -4. Antonio to Ronaldo, as long as it doesn't involve... Does the Antonio... Feel free to just put it in the chat. Don't need to super chat again. Thank you very much. Does the Antonio to Ronaldo move involve selling Salah? Because if it doesn't, then I would do it that way. Oh, Sam, I was kind of hoping you might send your viewers my way to beat my max ever viewed stream, but shame. No worries, we'll try and get there anyway, but let's see. Jota or Fernandes for Salah. Again, I can't get behind selling Salah this week. 2 weeks, you'll need to buy him back again. So that's 2 transfers, whereas if you just bench him, do transfers elsewhere, I would bench Salah if you can. Sell other players in your team. Which teams have possible doubles in game week 23? It's Villa could double against either Leeds or Burnley. Villa probably have a 50% chance of doubling, which is why I'm keeping Watkins. And then it's about a 50% chance, I think, about which of those 2 teams that they double against. So a 25% chance for the others would probably be the way that I would estimate the doubles going if they happen in game week 23. Sell Antonio or Watkins for Ronaldo. I would probably sell Antonio again. Stian, welcome. Thank you. So I'd probably sell Antonio just because I think there's enough chance that Villa have a double game week in game week 23. If that is not going to happen, then I'd probably keep Antonio. But I'm going off the chance that it happens. And I have Bowen as a bit of cover. Now everyone owns Bowen now. So it's not quite the same. But I'm going off there being enough chance that Villa have a double game week that I would sell Antonio. Sam, head over. Oh, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for renewing. You have unlocked the new colour for members. If you do join as a member, of course, you get the little badge as well as your name highlighted in chat. Start Cancelo or Foden. Which of the 2 would I be starting this week? Probably Cancelo. I think there's enough doubt in my mind that Foden might not start, that I'm pretty certain that Cancelo will. All the best luck in game week 22. Appreciate it. Anyone disappearing now, thank you very much, and good luck in game week 22. What striker to get in with Ronaldo, Antonio? I'd probably Watford forward. Dennis would probably be the next one that I want to go and transfer in. When will I make my transfers? I'm probably going to wait up until maybe half hour before the deadline. that's probably my current thinking and my current plan. Nothing seems to be coming up on team news or anything like that. I appreciate everyone who's subscribed. We have hit 15k subscribers during the stream. Would I bring in Son? Who would I bring in Son? Again, let me get my tweet up on screen and we'll leave that up for a little bit for anyone looking to bring in or sell Son this week. Which one is the bench in Cancelo, Alonso and Diop? I wouldn't bench Alonso for sure. I'd probably bench Diop. Watford will miss game against Burnley. We don't know if that's going to be the case. We don't know if that's going to be the case or not. What about Gallagher? It's not a bad pick. It's a single game week against a team that have a very nice defence in Brighton. So I don't love it, but it's a fine option. If you've got him, start him, but I wouldn't be bringing him in. No, I don't know. There's been a few questions about Gallagher in the chat, which I'm surprised at. I don't know why there's a little bit of hype around him, but there seems to be the case. What about Maddison for the short term? It's not bad. If you bought him again, fine. They have a single game week against Spurs this week. Then they have Brighton at home next week. And then they have a blank fixture. I think. Let me get the fixture difficulty for Leicester. Oh no, sorry. It's Tottenham, Brighton, then it's Liverpool away. So effectively, he's not the greatest pick short term now. If you've got him and you brought him in early and now he doesn't have a fixture, then absolutely fine. Go and do it. But I wouldn't be bringing him in if you haven't brought him into your team already. Start Watkins or Foden. I'd start Watkins if it was me. Ings or Watkins. I prefer Watkins slightly because I think if they play sort of 2-3 games a week, I'm pretty set that Watkins is going to play every one. Ings, if I knew they were both going to start, it's quite tough. With Ings having penalties, I'd probably favour Ings very slightly. However, with them likely, I'm hoping they have a double game week, I'd want to go for Watkins just because I'm a bit more sure on the amount of minutes that I could get out of Watkins. We have got just over an hour. Honestly, I need to get a PC. Anyone who knows anything about PCs, please drop me a note on Twitter because I've been streaming for an hour and my laptop has gone from 100% battery to 60%. My laptop's almost going to die before the end of a 2-hour stream. Absolute nightmare. Thank you all for tuning in. You always can see the drop off when Andy goes live, but I appreciate all you guys sticking around with this stream. Would I bench Dallo or Cancelo? I don't think Dallo's going to start both, so I'd bench him. I'd probably play Cancelo. Harry, how am I doing in the cup? I'm out of the normal cup. I'm through in the Chelsea Cup. I went out of the official cup, unfortunately, because I took a -4 that week and I lost by 3 points. The Chelsea Cup, I'm through to the next round, and this is the man's team. This was his team last week. Fingers crossed I'm going to go through against this. Fingers crossed I'm going to go through against this. But a lot of players that I don't expect to get very many minutes. I don't think he's got a full 6 players to play this week. So let's see how I get on, but I'm hopeful for that one. Dennis or King? I'm going to be bringing in Dennis out of the two. Need to set up some fans behind that laptop. It's an absolute nightmare, honestly. Top differential mid for this week. If I had to bring in a midfielder for this week as a differential, to be honest, a lot of those cheap ones are differentials, right? So Moore is a differential, Mount's a differential, KDB's a differential, Trossard, Bruno will be a differential. He's talked a lot about by, I think, people who are making videos and people on Twitter, but he's not going to be that highly owned. Is he guaranteed to play both games, Fernandez, as Max is asking in the chat? No, but is he more likely to start both games than any of the other midfielders? Probably. Bella, welcome. Thank you for being a new subscriber. I appreciate it a lot. Sayazwan, again, thank you guys. Almost 100 subscribers gained in this stream. Well, actually, I think just over. I don't have Ronaldo, but you have Lukaku. Should I take a -4 to bring in Lukaku for Lukaku and Gray versus Trossard for Son? No. Don't go selling Lukaku. I'd probably do Son. If you've got money in the bank, can you do Son to Bruno Fernandes, for example? I would do that if I could. That would probably be the way that I would look to make my transfers. How likely are Everton to get a double game week next week, considering getting Gray? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the chance. They're still in the cup, aren't they? So unlikely. Teams that are not in the FA Cup anymore have a much bigger chance of getting a double game week next week, right? So that's why Villa against Leeds or Burnley is probably the only chance that we've got to get a double game week. Less than 1 hour, but we still got time. We'll wait and see if there's any movement, any doubles, blanks, any little sneaking suspicion that something might happen before we make the transfers. Absolutely no clue what to do and who to captain. You already did Salah to Son early, and so would have to take a hit to bring Bruno in. Do I think it's worth it? Or you did Salah to Son early. I probably would do that. I know it's a hit, and I know it's for a transfer you've already made, but I probably would. Now that the viewers are dropping off with people going elsewhere, I'm just going to up the slow mode a little bit and put subscriber only mode on. Any duration, just hit subscribe, but so I can make sure I'm answering everyone's questions now. Double up on Ronaldo and Bruno. It's not a bad option. It's what I'm planning to do. This team is before I make any transfers. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Doubling up for the short term and then selling Bruno to get Salah in a couple of weeks. That's the plan that I'm making at the moment. Mount or Bruno? Probably Fernandes. He's the one I'm bringing in this week. Watkins to Cristiano Ronaldo. Son to Gray for a -4. Yeah, I don't dislike that. Fine, I can understand that. Moving up front. Sorry, Watkins, I don't love transferring out, but for Ronaldo this week, if you're going to captain him especially, then yeah, I can get behind it. Would I have King and Dennis on a free hit? I'd probably only own one, because I think there's enough doubt that their game gets abandoned against Burnley and gets cancelled. I'd probably then go Kane, but there is doubt that his game goes and gets cancelled as well, right? Ronaldo, of course, would be in there. I would probably go Ronaldo, Kane, Dennis if I was on a free hit, because I think I'm putting my eggs in enough baskets there that I'm not going to own Lucas Moore. I might own Lucas Moore in midfield, which may change if I want to go Kane, but he's the main goal threat at Spurs, so yeah. -8 to get Mount, Gray and Ronaldo for Son, Salah. Again, Nuclear, I'm not backing anyone selling Salah now. If you've kept him this long, it's a strong hold on Salah for me. Ferraz asks, you have a free hit on. You have Bruno Moore and Mount Maddison. Who's the best replacement for Maddison? I'd probably want Jota or I'd probably want Bowen in there. I know they've got single game weeks, but Liverpool are likely to score a fair few goals against Brentford, and Bowen is on such electric form. Both of them are such highly owned as well. I probably wouldn't want to go without them. So I would probably go and get... If I had to back one of them, I'd probably back Jota, but... Nuclear, if you are going to sell Salah to get in Ronaldo, just make sure you have a route back to Salah that is easy enough. That's all I'm going to say. Salah, Fernandes, Sterling, Mount. Salah to Fernandes, Sterling to Mount, Tony to Ronaldo. Short term, that's a good move, but long term, it's a difficult one to get behind for sure. short term, fine. But again, if you guys are selling Salah, make sure you have a route to get him back when he comes back. That's not going to take loads of transfers, because you'll kick yourself. I can tell you that you will. Is Reguilon still a decent option to play over Diaz, who's currently on the bench? I probably would play Reguilon over Diaz. I probably would still do that because Diaz has no attacking threat, really. Reguilon has attacking threat, and I think his chances of playing one are fine. I would probably go Reguilon. I'm planning on making 2 transfers and selling Son and selling Antonio and buying Dennis and buying Bruno Fernandes. That is the plan. We have got 15 minutes until transfers need to have been made. You have an easy route to get Salah back, so should do the -8. If you have an easy route, then fine, go and do it. What about bringing in Kane rather than Ronaldo, with Ronaldo in doubt? The press conference today said that Ronaldo should be fine to play, and then there's enough doubt that game between Arsenal and Spurs doesn't go ahead, which would mean Kane doesn't have a double game week. So I would err on the side of caution with that one. Will Bruno start both? Maybe not. There's a chance he doesn't. There's a chance he doesn't play 3 games in 8 days or whatever it is. There's a chance that doesn't happen. Maybe Brentford is the game that people get rested in, but there's going to be rotation for all the double game week players, right? So, especially again, they play the weekend after. I'm happy enough with the minutes I think he's going to get. I think is what I'd say. Bench Cancelo, Kufal, Gray, or Antonio. I would bench probably Sufal. Gray and Antonio would be my priorities to play there. Favour the attacker, and they have good features as well. Would it be okay to get in a Tottenham defender? Again, there's a bit of doubt about whether that game goes ahead between Arsenal and Spurs. So you have to wait until the deadline. If you wanted to go and do it, fine. It's too much of a risk for me, though. I expect a max of 1 clean sheet for them. And then their fixtures afterwards are not that great. I probably wouldn't be bringing one in. Maybe Cucurella of Brighton, maybe Semedo of Wolves would be where I'd focus my transfers if I was making a defensive one. Yes, those others guys like Semedo doesn't have a double game week, but it's probably where I would go. Absolute chaos and carnage at the moment. Sell Watkins for King for a hit. Would I sell Watkins for King for a hit? No, I probably wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I know they play Norwich next week, but I wouldn't be doing Watkins out for a hit, given that they could double next week. If you need the money for something else, then that's something different, right? I wouldn't do Antonio to Dennis for a hit unless I could be doing something with the money elsewhere, which I am, and then I need the money in future weeks. So, Evan, thank you guys all for subscribing. Zodiac, welcome. Peter, let me just have a little moment break to just go and see what's happening over on Twitter. Let me just go and see what everything is, what's all being said. Nothing leaked yet, nothing happening at the moment. Yeah, guys, if we could, just while I do this quickly, I'll be back with the questions in just a second. Need a slight breather. This is what happens when... Cool, so let's get back to it. Beast, thank you for subscribing. Cool, 350 likes. So I have a question. Let me put some polls out in the chat. We start doing a few polls and get people engaged in the stream. Do you guys like the layout? Because we used to have the chat here and then sort of key topics over on that side. And then I've moved it. The fixtures on a double game week are a little bit squashed, but I think it looks slightly better. Let me know what you guys think about the layout, but let's put a poll in the chat. Oh, I have to always move because I can't see it. I need to redo my setup so much. Right. So, ask a question. Captain FPL Focal has De Gea as captain. I don't think he's his captain anymore. I don't think. Let me just put that poll up for you all. Cool. Foster or Lloris? If you've got Lloris, I'd probably start him personally. If you've got him, I would probably start him. I don't know how to get rid of the chat on the stream page. I don't know how to get rid of that poll, sorry. Anyway, back to it. Is Backman playing? Foster versus Backman is a complete 50-50. I personally think Foster will regain his place at some point. But is it going to be the first game week back fit? Maybe not. Maybe not. Lucas, Moura or Bowen in? Long term Bowen. Long term. If you're going to keep them for a while, Bowen. Best vice captain, De Gea or Reguilon or King? I'd vice captain King. I still think the top 4 captains are probably Ronaldo, Dennis, King, Fernandes in that order. No, but like... Oh no. What have I done? Something's happened. There. Fine. No, I can't just touch on it. Like it's... I don't know where it comes from. Anyway. We'll run that poll for another minute or two. Make sure to get your votes in on that and then we will end it. Captain Dennis over Fernandes. I probably would because Bruno is a much better pick when Ronaldo is not playing and it sounds like Ronaldo is going to be fit to play both games. What do I think about Greenwood? I don't like his chance of playing both games effectively. I think he'll start one, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not confident at all that he'll start both, I think. So I don't mind him, but I think there are better options elsewhere, to be honest. If you've got him, play him, but I wouldn't be bringing Greenwood into my team just because I don't think he's going to start both games. He hasn't had a prolonged run in the team for quite a while now. I think it's too much of a gamble, but saying that, I'm bringing in Bruno Fernandes, who's done virtually nothing since his hat-trick in game week 1, so... Is Son playing? No. So I still got my transfers to make. We still got until 6:30. Yeah, till 6:30 this evening to make any transfers. I'm going to wait and see if we get any news. Let me just end that poll now. And let's see what you guys are saying. 65% of you are captaining Ronaldo. Then we have got 15% on Dennis and the other 15% going other. Cheers, mate. No worries. Glad I could be helpful. Should you triple captain Sonny for the memes? He always heals magically. Alpha. As funny as I think it would be, probably not the best thing to be doing with your team. What is my ideal best free hit? So we went through this. It would sound something like this. It would be De Gea in goal. Trent, Alonso, Cucurella in defence. Jota, Bowen, Fernandes, Mount in my midfield, Ronaldo, Kane, Dennis front 3. Do I think the Everton left back will play versus Norwich? I think so. Think he'll come, especially with Dean going. I'm pretty well. I'm not pretty certain, but I would probably expect him to come in and play that game straight away. But we don't know that. That's just a sort of a bit of a hunch that I've got to go off. Cool. Let me end that poll. Antonio to Dennis or James to another defender. I'd probably, if James, which defender? The issue is none of the defenders I think are very worthwhile. If Antonio to Dennis is for free, again, do you need that money long term? If you need the money long term, I'd do that. If not, I would strengthen your bench and go James. The other options I like in defence to be bringing in this week. Cucurella of Brighton, we've spoken about. Semedo, another one. I don't love a lot of the defensive fixtures this week. Do you need them to start this week? If not, can you roll the transfer? Trossard, Lucas or Rafinha. Trossard or Bowen on a free hit. I'd probably own Bowen before I own Trossard, to be honest. So close. If you want to chase the upside and go Trossard, I can understand it. But Bowen is so highly owned that I may want to favour him now, to be honest. Broha or Watkins to start? Probably Watkins. Home fixture, they look so good against Manchester United the other night. Thank you, Jorvan, for subscribing. Will Dalot start? You are asking. I don't think he'll start both. I'm pretty sure that he won't start both, given how Wan-Bissaka's been playing and the minutes that they've both been getting. But let's wait and see. So if you've got Dalot, I think he'll get minutes at some point. Whether he'll start either, I don't know. If you don't have anyone else, then play him. But I wouldn't be particularly confident if he was in my team. Don't make decisions based on ownership. No. But if you had to pick between Trossard and Bowen playing at home to Leeds, he scored twice in the most recent game, scored against them in the FA Cup, and Trossard playing for a team that notoriously doesn't score like that many goals. Antonio to Ronaldo for free, or Antonio to Ronaldo then Son to Bruno for a -4. So basically, should you do Son to Bruno for a -4, Kian? Who are you going to be playing instead? Who would be coming off your bench? But I imagine that is worth it. Is it a placeholder for Salah as well? Again, I would probably do that, Kian. Start Reguilon or Tierney? I'd start Reguilon. If they have a double game week, I expect probably both teams to score in that North London derby, but then Reguilon has a second game to make it up, so I would start Reguilon out of the two. Son to Fernandes or Son to Lucas and Antonio to Ronaldo? Son to Fernandes or Son to Lucas and Antonio to Ronaldo? Probably Son. Do you safe? It depends if you've got Salah in your team. If you've got Salah in your team, then do the Ronaldo options. But if you don't have Salah in your team, do the Fernandes option. Reguilon or Alonso? If I had to play one this week, I'd play Alonso out of the two. I would play Alonso out of the two. No Salah, then I'd probably do the Fernandes option because you need a route back to him. It's probably not beneficial this week, but long term, you'll need that route back to Salah. Play Cancelo or Antonio? Antonio for sure. That Leeds defence, even though they're having a few players return from injury this week, is still in absolute pieces. So I would be starting Antonio over Cancelo for sure. Chelsea are still going to want something from that game. I expect it to be low scoring, so there is a chance of a clean sheet, but you got to chase that upside, right? You got to go with the more explosive option. Is it worth taking a hit to go Gaeta to De Gea? Is it worth taking a hit to go Gaeta to De Gea? Probably. Sorry, just again trying to see if there's anything else that's going on pre-deadline. I appreciate you all sticking around. Diaz and Son for Sanchez and Fernandes. Diaz and Son for Sanchez and Fernandes. I wouldn't go Sanchez. I would go Semedo. I'd go Wolves defender. I'd go a Brighton defender. I probably wouldn't bother with a Spurs defender now to bring one in. Spurs or Wolves defender. Spurs have played a game less, but they've got such difficult fixtures. They could easily not keep a clean sheet in their next three. They could keep less clean sheets than Wolves easily. I probably would go for a Wolves option. What am I planning on doing? Son to Fernandes and Antonio to Dennis. Dennis or Mopai? I'd go Dennis. Carroll would probably be the way that I would go. Do I think Dalot will start? And should I start him? Again, if you have an option that you are happy playing, I think Dalot will start one of the two. And that's it. I'm pretty sure you won't start both. It depends who you've got to replace him. He's fine. He has a double game week. He's probably not going to play in both, but it gives him a chance to play minutes in one of them. Ronaldo's condition, he should be fine, should be fit. We've heard from the press conference today that he should be available to play Villa. If he's not available to play Villa, he'll be on the bench, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure of that. So Ronaldo is my captain. It's not going to move anywhere at all. My vice captain will be on Dennis once I bring him into my team. So, who's the best replacement for Reece James? Defensive transfers are so hard at the moment. There's not many options I like this week. Cucurella is a good short-term pick, but if you're not going short-term and you want long-term, then the Wolves defenders are probably where I'd want to go. Best midfielder for 7.7 and below. Have a look at this. I don't mind Rafinha, but he doesn't have a double this week. If you want a double player, then it's probably Trossard. There are a few others on there as well, but still nothing. I would have thought we heard on the North London derby by now. I would have thought they would have said something by now, but we'll wait and see as close to deadline. This is why I'm not making my transfers. But in theory, it doesn't impact me that much whether that game goes ahead, but I would just be interested to know. Bench Maddison or Antonio? I'd probably bench Maddison, to be honest. Thank you, no worries at all. Glad I could be of some assistance. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Over 300 likes on the video, on the stream. And we've hit 15,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I don't think I ever thought I would get there when I started the channel. So thank you. Which game more likely to proceed, Tottenham or Watford? I'd probably say Watford. 60-40 Watford. I don't think there's much in it. I think it's a pretty close run thing, I think, between the two. Lucas Moura for Son. Lucas Moura for Son. Not about, again, let me get this up. Sorry, I keep forgetting that I have a list of players that I would probably bring in. Would look something like this. Is it worth taking a hit to take Watkins or Antonio out for Ronaldo or Kane? If you don't have a captain's option that you are happy with, I don't mind Antonio to Ronaldo. Dyer's injured for Spurs though, so I kind of feel a Maddison will get something. But you've got to imagine that Antonio gets something as well. I personally would do that, but I don't think there's that much in it. I could understand if you went the other way. I don't think it's so clear-cut that you need to make a decision one way or another. Captain King or Captain Ronaldo? It's got to be Ronaldo, surely. If it was Dennis is probably above Ronaldo. Captaincy ranking, Ronaldo, Dennis, King, Kane, Fernandes, probably. Prithaz Singh, how are we doing? Nice to see one of the members in. As always, any one of you guys who are joining, Tier 1 membership just gets you the badge as well as all the emojis to use in the chat, and you help support the channel. It really does. I'm going to be upgrading my setup, and it is really helpful that you guys help support. I'm going to get a laptop that doesn't die halfway through streams and things like that. So I really appreciate all the memberships, as well as the Tier 2 members get access to the sort of chat that we have between myself and all the other Tier 2 members and all the other moderators. So you can ask me questions, not just in streams, but you get reply before the deadline for all of your questions during the week. You don't have to wait for a stream to take place if you do want to join as a Tier 2 member. It's only $4.99 a month as well, and $1.99 a month for the base tier. Thank you all who have signed up already. I appreciate it so much. Start Foden or Watkins? I would probably start Watkins out of the two. Would I captain King or De Gea? I'd probably captain King. Don't think there's going to be many. I think it'll be a max of one clean sheet for United. Do I think Bruno will be less of an option if Ronaldo is playing? Kian, I do, but I don't see an option that I prefer instead, to be honest. That I'm as confident, on getting something. I think they're all pretty rubbish. So I'm just bringing in one that I'm happy with 2 weeks, and then I can go and move one elsewhere. I remember when Bruno played West Ham, who they have in game week 23 last season. He started on the bench and came off the bench and scored against them and sort of revived that game for United. So I'm planning on making that move. Of course, I'm just waiting sort of until 6 o'clock to make those transfers. Oh, don't have that long until the deadline now, actually. Don't have too long until the deadline now. So I think Smith Rowe will start, probably not. Where to subscribe? So if you want to join as a member, there is a link in the very top of the description. If you want to join as a member, you can just click that and it should take you to the page that you can go and do that with. I will post it at the end of the stream, or you can go, if you're on desktop and you join my stream again, I will get it up on screen and we'll just show very briefly. Cool. So, is Reguilon fit? I think he'll play at least one. So, yes. Ramsdale to De Gea and Son to Mount. Sounds good. Any recommendations? The only issue with that is that they have blanks coming up. Mount is the only issue I have with that. So there'll be a join button if you go onto any of my page on desktop. It will be there and you can just click that, and then there is tier 1 and tier 2. You will get obviously the same benefits for tier 2 as you get for tier 1, but you also get the additional benefits. So you get the little badges in the chat that you've seen some people, as well as those emojis in there as well. Should I start Cancelo or Reguilon? Probably Reguilon. Just got to take the gamble on a double, I think. Is City game going through? Yeah. I would be surprised if a game this close gets cancelled now. North London derby due to postponement. We don't know it yet, but it could still go. TBC about whether it goes ahead or not. Arsenal have requested the Premier League that Sunday's North London derby be postponed. Apparently they have requested that it be postponed, is what we are seeing. Well, interesting. It doesn't impact me that much. Apparently they're going to make a decision tomorrow. Apparently. Let me get the tweet up. This is one that I do think is worth sharing with you guys. Of course, yeah. Magic Master, already on it. Let me get it up on screen for you all. Interesting, his reply, the other... So, exclusive, Arsenal have requested the Premier League that Sunday's North London derby be postponed. Tottenham are not very happy, but importantly, his reply here is that decision is going to be made tomorrow, which is fairly useless to us FPL managers. But I guess we've just got to hope that either it goes ahead if you need it to, or what. So that news is breaking. Chief football reporter from the Daily Mail. Blue tick seems, I don't know, reasonably reliable. Seems got to be okay. I know it's the Mail, but he's the chief football reporter. That's not something I'd be confident bringing in any Spurs players now. I don't have an option. I'm going to start Reguilon, but I could start Ben Johnson, but we don't know if he's going to play. Then I mean, I could easily be down to 2 starting defenders this one. We don't know the COVID cases at Burnley, Carol. The interesting thing about Burnley is that on Monday, the rules in the UK changed for isolation from 7 days to 5 days. If it stayed at 7 days, the Burnley players will be out and that game would be cancelled. 5 days, in theory, could allow enough of them to come back to training that game could go ahead, which is why it hasn't been cancelled yet. So that's worth bearing in mind. You love the Mail slander, of course. Nice, reliable news source for you all there. So that's interesting. Would I start Gray or Bernardo Silva? I'd probably start Gray. It's a difficult one, but Bernardo Silva's not been returning at all well recently, has he? So is Ronaldo fit? I think so. I think he'll be fine to play. Honestly, this state of... Pav and sorry, back to the chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. As always, very grateful for the super chat. But for the same price of a super chat, you could join as a member for a month and basically get unlimited super chat. So again, if you check out my page, the join button, it's the same price and you basically get unlimited super chats because I answer every question that any member asks in the chat, how busy it is. So thank you very much for the super chat, but do consider joining as a member instead and save yourself a little bit. Chelsea badge, already a top guy. Ramsdale, Foster, Cancelo, Rudiger, Soufal, Loughton, Tierney, De Bruyne, Mount, Jota, Bowen, Louise, Antonio, Ronaldo, Dennis. Can I roll or do I need a transfer? So Antonio, Ronaldo, Dennis, great. Mount, Jota, De Bruyne, Bowen, fine. Cancelo, Rudiger, Soufal, fine. And Ramsdale in goal is fine. I still think if you've got money in the bank to go Ramsdale to De Gea, I would probably do it. Because Ramsdale's got blanks coming up, so you in theory might be left without a goalkeeper. If you can have the money in the bank to go from one to the other, then I would. But if not, then I think you're fine to roll. But I would consider doing a goalkeeper transfer now. I worry if it's 6 o'clock now, so we've still got. Make transfers now. No news to be released. Yeah, I'm going to just give it a few more minutes. Should I put Jota as vice captain instead of Dennis? No, I'd put Dennis, to be honest. I think there's enough chance that Burnley game goes ahead that he would be my vice captain. Foden to Coutinho. It's one of those ones again. How close? Foden to Coutinho. No, I wouldn't be buying Coutinho yet. I don't think he'll start this week. I'd wait and see. They might have a double in 23, which would be a great time to bring him in, but can't believe I'm buying Fernandes. Need to just text people to remind them to do their teams. Casuals. Pavan, tier 2. Wow, Pavan, thank you very much for joining. Tier 2, you get access, of course, to the group chat on Twitter. You and Magic Master, both you guys, drop me a message on Twitter and I will get you added to that group chat straight after this stream. Magic Master, our new mod, and Pavan, our new member. Start using the emojis in the chat, Pavan. Let's get that badge there. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Nice little green badge to start you off. You do have emojis to use as well. On our latest YouTube video, you said bringing in Maddison, then who am I bringing in instead? So Maddison's not going to double, so I think Fernandes is going to come in for his double, and then Dennis as well. Exactly, Nuclear. Another one added to the group chat. It's only going to grow and get bigger, so appreciate it a lot. Drop me a message on Twitter, Pavan, right away. My DMs are open. Just send a little screenshot of the membership and I will get you added to the chat straight away. Same with you, Magic Master. Send that. So that is what my planned transfers are. So on to Fernandes, Antonio to Dennis for a -4. 36% battery. Honestly, the state of it. Honestly, the state of my laptop. Son and Antonio for Fernandes and King. Yeah, I'm doing a very similar. If you can get Dennis, I prefer Dennis to King, but that's personal preference. Yeah, late decision will be made. Antonio, he had a knock. Moyes doesn't even know yet. Fantastic. The manager doesn't know, but we do. Yeah, I agree. I'm really enjoying the... I really enjoying that group chat. We're having a lot of fun in it, so I'm hoping that we can keep building it up. Next season in January, over the summer, we may move it off Twitter, but I'm really excited by what we can build with the community of members that we are getting now. Bench Rafinha, great, or Soufal? Probably bench Soufal. It's pretty close, but if Bamford's back, then I would back Leeds to score. Will Watford play Burnley? At the moment, I think there's probably a 60% chance they do. So, yeah. Do I think Duffy will start his double game week? I don't think he probably will. He probably won't play both the way the minutes that he's had recently. So I'd err on the side of caution with Duffy. Start Soufal or Dallo. Probably Dallo. I take a chance that something happens to Wan-Bissaka, but I don't have enough money to do Bruno to Salah. Yes, I don't, but I'm planning on selling Reguilon. Planning on selling Reguilon to one of the Villa guys. If they double, Reguilon will be my transfer next week. So Reguilon to like Matty Cash, for example, which does basically leave me enough if Salah drops in price. There's a lot of moving parts here, but I'm happy enough with it that I can go somewhere other than Cash if needs be. Yes, Y1 MKE. Again, thank you very much for joining as a member. Drop me a message over on Twitter. We'll get you added to that group chat right after the deadline stream. We'll get you added there. Appreciate you signing up. Buzzing. What a stream this has been. 15,000 subscribers, 2 new members. Flying. Gray or Rafinha, which would I start? I'd probably play Rafinha, slightly more explosive. Does Reguilon start both games with Sessegnon back? Well, at the moment it sounds like they might only have one game. So Arsenal have requested it. Arsenal have requested that game be cancelled. So we'll have to wait and see, but I wouldn't be particularly confident. You think Bruno is the shout? It's where I'm going with it. How long have we got? 25 minutes. It's a lot of people, and there are a lot of people waiting to make their moves late. Thank you for all the help you give. No problem. Again, those new members, there should be a little button which will give you a few new emojis in the chat. Start getting a few of them in. Have a little play around with them. But I appreciate you guys joining. Varane or Laporte? City's defence is so much better. I'd go Laporte. This week, yeah, Varane will probably outscore him. But Laporte is a better long-term pick. You only have 2 double game week players and 2 free hits. Do I have free hit this week? I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. If you've got a Watford forward and a Ronaldo or a Bruno, I think you're there. If one of them, if you can get one in with a free transfer, fine. I wouldn't be playing free hit this week. What to do with Dallo? Do I even count him as a double game week player? Not really. He's got stitches after the FA Cup. I think he maybe starts the Brentford game and that's it. Arsenal have requested the game. Believe a statement from the Premier League is imminent. So the other one said it could we wait till tomorrow. I don't think the game will go ahead now. It's an opinion, right? And I don't have the answer. But so it's official. Arsenal have released an official statement that they've asked for it to be postponed. So they've asked for it to be postponed, and I think, given the amount of cases that there seem to be, that it will be postponed. As all they needed to do was request it. All they needed to do was request it. All they needed to, so. So, sorry, back to it. Just got to remind my brother to do his team. He's as useless as all of the casuals. Cash or Semedo. Sorry, just on the messages. Back to it now. Cash or Semedo. I'd probably take a risk on Cash, but the issue is if you need to play him this week, right? But they should double. Am I sure? I'll probably go Cash. I'll probably take the chance that they double next week. Best meal, mid under 6 mil. I don't know how much Trossard is, but here's my list of midfielders that I would be considering. Would I captain Trent? No double game week players. None at all. I would try and find a way to get one of them in, even if it's Dennis up front, for example. If you don't, then I'd go Trent. But take a hit to replace Lloris. If you can do Lloris to De Gea, maybe. But people in our group chat thinking the request will be rejected. Really? Let's have a look. It will be rejected, surely. Can't keep... I disagree. I think it will be accepted. I really thought all they needed to do was put the postponement in. Dennis or Antonio for 2 weeks. I'll probably go Dennis. Those fixtures are you could not ask for better fixtures. Right? Let me line these up. Let me line these up again. Right? So though you can't ask for better fixtures, you've got to... Is Lever to Cucurella worth a -4? I probably would if you're going to start him. Arsenal without Xhaka, Partey, Smith Rowe and any Odegaard and maybe Saka, it will not go on. I agree. I can't see the game going ahead. Start Dallo or Bernardo. Probably Bernardo, to be honest. I'd probably go Bernardo Silva. How long do I have? 20 minutes. Dennis or Ronaldo, captain? Ronaldo, for me. Gray be a better option than Rafinha because they're playing Norwich. Maybe if you wanted to bring one in this week, yeah. But on this spreadsheet, that's a long-term pick. Rafinha is a better long-term pick. Do I captain Dennis? If you don't have maybe Ronaldo, then yeah. Dennis is probably the second best captaincy option for me this week. We are 12 subscribers away from 15.1 thousand. So if you guys want to subscribe, we are 12 away. Go on, there must be 12 of you guys watching who are not subscribed. Would be massively appreciated if we hit that. 10 away now. No Alba, Partey, Tomiyasu. Yeah, I'm sure it has to be postponed. Do I think Janis might get rotated with João Pedro? So King might be better. I'm happy enough going Dennis. I think he's the better option out of the two. They play two systems. One system favours both King and Dennis. Probably King slightly more than Dennis. But the other system is so weighted towards Dennis that's why I'm going Dennis. Play Watkins or get Bruno for a -4 and bench Watkins. Again, is that getting Bruno in for -4? Are you then going to do Bruno to Salah in a couple of weeks? Then I probably would do that. Bench Watkins. Captain King, one game can be cancelled. Or Captain DCL or Bowen. I'd still probably go King. I'd still probably back the double game week player. Thank you, Jacob Rose. We are 5 subscribers away. Who would I say is the best replacement with a double? So this is my little thing. Depending on if you want them long term or depending on if you don't. That is what I would be looking at. So they've requested it now. They've officially requested it. Arsenal have officially tweeted that it is being requested. Right, let me get that up on screen for you all now. Then we're going to make my transfers. We're close enough. There. Arsenal have officially confirmed. Dennis or Mount on captain. I'd probably captain Dennis. Arsenal have officially confirmed. Arsenal have officially confirmed it. Livramento replacement. Price, no concern. Long term with double game week this week. Probably Cucurella. If you want a double this week, then it's probably him. I don't love any of the defenders to bring in this week. This is the main issue. This is the main issue. Right, I'm going to do it. Son to Fernandes, Antonio to Dennis. We're going to get them confirmed. I don't want to leave it close to the deadline. I don't think it will crash this time, but... Who to bench, Madders or Gray? I'd probably bench Maddison personally. Help me, Saka or Maddison. I'm not sure that game's going to go ahead, so I'd probably play Maddison. Captain Bruno or Dennis? Dennis? Right. Is the Burnley-Watford game going to go ahead? At the moment it is, yeah. Who to bench, Maddison or Gray? Yeah, we've had that one answered. Arsenal have submitted a request to get it cancelled. Why am I selling Antonio to get Dennis and it frees up money to get Salah back that I need, that I don't have at the moment? Brought in Maddison, but did I miss the memo on Fernandes? Well, Maddison doesn't double now. I don't love Fernandes. He's a 2-week punt before I get Salah back. There's no one else I prefer. Captain Dennis or Bruno? I would captain Dennis for me. Gray or Reguilon? I'd play Gray. I'd play Gray. That's an interesting one, but I would play Gray. Should I play Foster or Ramsdale? I'll probably play Foster now. Right. Final check at 15 minutes before the deadline. Let me just do one final check. Cool, so bench one of Lacazette, Bernardo, Cancelo. Probably Lacazette, because I don't think that game's going to go ahead. I think it's going to be made for you. Cool, so Son to Fernandes, Antonio to Dennis. Dennis or King? I'm going Dennis myself. Here we go. Vice captain will be on Dennis. Captaincy will be on Ronaldo. Please, let's not spam the chat. Oh, my laptop is... What percentage battery are you on now? 25%. Honestly, the state of it. I'm going to put a very minute slow mode on just so that we don't get people spamming the chat. Transfers now. I've done them. Nuclear, I've done mine. This is where we are going. Makale, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Son to Sterling or Foden for a -4. Oh, for a -4, really? Worth it? Don't. Those for a -4. I wouldn't go Sterling. I'd probably go Foden. I'd just take the cheaper one for those City mids. But Captain King or Robbo or Trent? King for me. I'd go King. If you have a double game week player in any of those four, Fernandes, Ronaldo, King, Dennis, I'd put my captaincy armband on them. Going in without Kane or Ronaldo, well, I think Kane's only going to have a single game week. So Bruno for free or Mora and Ronaldo. Just done Bruno for free or Mora and Ronaldo. Again, it depends if you've got Salah, Kai. If you've got Salah, then the Ronaldo option. If you don't have Salah, probably the Bruno option. Would I play Cancelo or Watkins? I'd probably play Watkins just about. Play Dallo or Ben Davies? Probably Dallo, given the news on Arsenal that they may only have one game. Kane or Dennis captain? Probably Dennis. What it says the best Solomon replacement with a double. Yellow Army, again, I'd go with this. Depends if you want them short term or long term. The long term options don't double. Should I play Gray or Sterling? I'd probably play Gray. It's a Norwich fixture. It's the best fixture you can get. Mora or Fernandes as a Son replacement. I've gone with Bruno. Think short term he's a better pick, but there's not much in it. Son to Bruno. It's what I've done. Son to Mora. Not a bad option. He's up there. These are my potential replacements for Son if you guys are still looking for them. If you guys are still looking at them, this is my ranking now. Gray, Trossard or Rafinha for Son. Gray, Trossard or Rafinha. Again, the options are all up on screen for you guys if you are looking for Son replacement. Do you have David De Gea, Ramsdale to Foster to get Fernandes for a -8? I don't think that's worth it. I don't really think that's worth it, to be honest. I don't know who you'd be benching, but I don't like the sound of that. Bowen, Jota or Bruno cap. Bruno, if you've got him. Always got to back the double. Cool. I know it's 10 minutes before the deadline, but my throat is killing being live for long enough. We're going to wrap up the stream there, I think, guys. Any final questions? Let me see who else is live on Twitter. Who are we going to go and watch for the final 10 minutes? Who is live at the moment? Dyer to... Is this my final team? Yeah, it is. Good luck. Let's just go and say hello to FPL Focal, shall we? We'll put that in the chat. Go and say... wait, who did I bring in this week? I brought in Bruno and I brought in Dennis. Go and say hello to FPL Focal. I'm sure you know who he is. Say hello in the chat and say that you were sent by FPL Harry. Pavan, drop me a message on Twitter and we'll get you added to the group chat. Good luck this game week, everyone. Go and head over to this link now and... oh, I can't even see the chat. Yeah, sorry. Go and head over to that now. Say FPL Harry sent you. Good luck this week, guys, and I will see you all again very soon. I've drank a whole bottle and I also need the toilet now, but go and check out FPL Focal. Say that I sent you. It would be much appreciated, guys, and we'll be back again next week. There's the link. Go and say hello and good luck this week.